When you think of Warhammer content on YouTube, you probably think of a couple of things. Painting and hobby tutorials, overly researched lore videos, or AI-generated slop cinematics. But a question I'm asked all the time is how do you create battle report content, whether it's offline or stream? Something I always ask is, how do you do it and what do you use, Mikey? Mikey, please tell me what you use to make battle reports. So here's a list. And everything I do mention in today's video will be linked in the description. It will be an Amazon affiliate link. It will slightly help me out if you buy anything. So if you would like anything from this video, please use the link down in the description. But otherwise, this is everything I use and everything I've learned in the past 7 years of making battle report content. Phone camera time. Now we're portable. Look at that. That's so cool. That's so epic. From where I sit, this is kind of what you see. This is like behind the camera. So this is my table. This is a dining room table on pallets that I've chopped up. This is a piece of wood, right? With wood, so it doesn't slide, on a dining table. As you can see, like I've made like a frame so it slots on top. So I can actually remove this whenever I like. This is my dice box. This is where we roll the dice. Watch this. I rolled a 6. Let's go. They're like £4, and it's just 2 picture frames that I've cut the bottom out, and I've sprayed it, as you can see. And then I've stuck a bit of battle mine to the bottom with some hot glue. That is how I make dice trays. But what you might have noticed is this, those, and that one, and that one. This is actually soundproofing, and I made this. A wooden box with some cheap fabric on the back and some nice fabric on the front, and it's got rock wool in it. So rock wool is like kind of like insulation that you find in your roof of your house. And it's essentially just a wooden box with insulation foam in it. Keeps the reverb and the echo out of the room. And I made some French cleats. So it's got like a 45-degree angle here, and then a 45-degree on the wall there. You can do it with one hand. I can do it with one hand. So I've got like there, I've got one there, I've got 2 there, and then right at the back, I used to have a couple there. You might be able to see it right in the top corner, and then what 2 across the top. So they essentially like stop sound bouncing everywhere. They capture sound. You might notice this. This is a TV. This white box is the chat. This is telling me to use malware bytes. It is just a PC. So what I've got here is a very cheap computer, and essentially I'm running OBS, and all I do is I put everything on there. So I've got like my TTS alerts, I've got my YouTube alerts, I've got my YouTube chat, and then it's just in full screen mode, like projector mode. So like when it's like this, I can see the chat whilst I'm playing because it's right there. So while I'm rolling dice into my shitty dice box, I can see the chat right there. And then if alerts come through, it comes up through there. And yeah, it's quite handy just to have it all there. Well, you might notice the wall. So this is very cool. It's peel and stick flooring, as you can see. It's actually coming on. Get back on. Okay. Over on the shelves, I've got some plastic plants from IKEA, a lamp from IKEA. This is a customized Bloodraven helmet made of foam, as you can see. So it's like hollow on the inside. It does fit. Look, what, it fits. It's like you're a real space marine. So this was commissioned by someone on Instagram. Here's their account. Leo Workstation. So I commissioned them a while ago. They're Portuguese. It's pretty sick. It's really lightweight. It's all handmade and hand painted. There's no 3D printing on it, which is actually quite cool. Over here we have my Dawn of War 3 comic, which was gifted to me by Jake, I believe it was. And then I have the Bandai Namco Space Marine, but I also have a sealed one behind it. Because I bought 2 thinking they were going to go up in price, and then everyone just buys Joy Toy now. But these are the Bandai Namco ones. This is my God Tier trophy from when I ran the God Tier event, and my runner-up trophy from No Retreat Legends. And then my framed picture of Valrak. That was from the battle report that we did together, where we cried over the Emperor, and like we did a cry bit, and then I just put it up. Like if you have like a set camera, what tends to happen is you get like 2 people next to each other, and they just roll into a dice box. And that's like the camera angle, and I think that looks shit. People like it. I personally don't. I don't like making content I'm not super enthused about. We use like tournament terrain as well. We don't really have like, I don't build boards thinking about the camera. I build boards thinking about the game and the camera secondary. But what you find is if you've got like the camera at one side of the board, all the terrain's up on one side, so you can't see anything. So I'd never really like figured out how other people do it. I feel like they must have like cameras at like a super weird angle and I just can never work it out. So I just started having separate cameras, camera 2 for the other player, and then like back to camera 1, and then top down. I feel like it's a lot better, and I feel like you get like the reaction cam, and yeah, I just prefer this style. I know not everybody does, but it's the one I like. So that's like the stuff that you see on camera all the time. So now I'll like show you like the gear, and all this is my Warhammer, by the way. It's a bit of a mess, but this is the Warhammer side. This is some of the terrain, as you can see. So we got like a buffet with some more terrain on it. These are like some just like industrial shelves. A lot of this is like game mat terrain, and like that's all game mat terrain. Some old terrain that I like, old WTC, UKTC. So this is where I store my Warhammer. These are all IKEA shelves. They are all magnetized to kitchen trays. These are cookie trays that you use for cooking cookies. Here's my custodian that I'm using on stream tomorrow. This is all the Warhammer that I have. I have a lot of Warhammer, as you can see. So this is my Space Marine army. It's basically Imperium, Chaos. That's the tray of all the legends. And then Xenos, and then right at the end is Age of Sigmar. But you might be able to tell there's a lot of boxes in there because this is all our tournament terrain and general tournament and then can't find a place for, so that's why it's so messy. So much terrain. But basically, I need more space because this is like the storage area and this is full. Like you can say it's a mess, tidy it up, but like, I'm just like running out of space to put. So now, the actual setup. I've been running from a laptop for so long. It's a Acer Nitro, it's a Ryzen 7, but essentially I have a computer at home, but I can't bring the computer here because I have to work on the computer at home. I'm not here every day. So I got a laptop to stream from. Running for webcams, it's fine. So if you are looking to upgrade, if you're like a battle report channel or you're like someone who wants to start using HD stuff, what I initially started using was this. This is a Blackmagic Atom Mini Pro. This is a very expensive piece of kit, but it's a glorified HDMI switcher. So it's got 4 HDMI inputs. It's got 1 out, which I could never get to work. But essentially what this does, it takes 4 HDMIs and it has 1 USB. So essentially it turns 4 cameras, 4 HD cameras, into 1 USB output. And you have like a switcher on here. These are like super popular. I know a lot of other channels, especially in the UK, use these. And I'm probably still gonna use that. I don't need it right now, but I'm probably gonna keep hold of it because if I ever want to expand to 8 cameras, what I should be able to do if I click there. As you can see there, everything's simultaneous. So they're all at the same time, which is cool. Like having 1 camera, HDMI camera is great. But a lot of the time when you're streaming games, you want to be able to have multiple cameras. You want to be able to cut to them quite quickly. But essentially, that was controlled over the IP with my Stream Deck. Okay, so Stream Decks are super common. A lot of the stuff I use is Elgato. I'll give you a quick rundown. So I've basically got a new PC now. This is my Stream Deck. So if you've never seen one of these before, you're not a streamer or you're not interested in that, this is what most streamers use. Essentially, when I press a button, it changes the scene. So I can go, cut to Mikey because it's got Mikey on it. Okay, there we go. Now I press the button next to it. If I bring it back, I press the button next to it. It goes to Louis, which is the opponent camera. And then I want to go to top down. I can press a button. And I want to go to the PTZ camera, which is turned off for some reason. And then I want to go back to the phone. So this is the Stream Deck. I can like turn the dice on and off. So there's the dice camera on and then dice camera off. But essentially, like this is like like commands. Essentially, they're like macro keys. Here's the computer. This is what I've basically put together in the past few weeks. It's not the best computer in the world, but it's pretty solid. It's got an MSI motherboard. It's got a Ryzen 5, a GeForce 1080 Ti. It's got a massive off cooler, but it's got a Be Quiet case, so it keeps quiet. It's got glass on the side. I'm not super happy about that, but Steve boyed me, so I can't really complain. But glass is great if the computer stays there. I'm going to be taking this to tournaments to stream, so that's not going to be great. But it's got a 250 gig SSD, and then it's got a 2 terabyte SSD as well for recording. And that's you. Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. So anyway, what else is on my desk? I've got a Focusrite 18i8. So this is my audio interface. This is really good. Focusrite's a really good company. I'm really, really hyped for Focusrite. So essentially this is XLR inputs all across. You've got 4 at the front, you've got fuck ton at the back. You've got 2 headphone outs. So 2 separate headphones out. And what you can do with the software is have separate headphone outs, like control the levels of them. Like this is obviously the volume, but what you can have is monitoring. So if I'm talking into this one and Tom's talking into this one and the players are coming through this one, like for streaming events, I can have one mix where I can hear Tom and the players, but not myself. And then Tom can have a separate mix where he can hear me, and the players, but not himself. And we can do that. For sound, I'm currently using this. You might have seen I'm wearing one of these. This is a Rode Go Wireless 2 with 2-pack. So it's essentially 2 microphones, 2 wireless packs like this. Essentially it's 2 microphones that come through as one. And what I do is I pan one microphone all the way to the left, pan one microphone all the way to the right, and have them as 2 separate inputs so I can control them individually. It also means I can record them separately, and it lets me have 2 different levels. So they all come through as one. They're fully panned to each ear, but then I mono them afterwards. It goes back into here, so here like that. And then this is my Audio-Technica BPHS1. These are essentially broadcasting headphones. So they've got like a really nice microphone. So this is what we use for live streaming. It's what the person on the desk uses. So this is where the sound comes through from the microphone. This is the output, goes to the headphones. So like you'll go, and then one in there. Beep. That acts as a headset so you can hear what people are saying, but also a microphone so you can talk back to people. So that's what we use for like streaming. It's what Nick uses when he's sat here, so he can put the headphones on to make sure the sound's okay. So when we're talking and playing up there, he can sit here and like listen and adjust as needed on here. So that's that. I'm currently using this as a little desk camera. It doesn't have to be too fancy. This is a C930E. If you've heard of a C920, this is the better version of it. But I do have like 5 of these webcams, baby. They're very good. So then what am I doing over here? We've got one camera there. And we got one camera there. These are both the same camera. They are a Sony A5. These are pretty good. They're pretty standard cameras. They're relatively cheap. It's all under manual, so I can control the lighting, but this is like one angle. It's the same camera, but a white one over there. And then I've got the micro HDMI out, which goes all the way to my PC here. So this is a Camlink Pro. So that's the one just underneath my graphics card. The Camlink Pro is essentially a PCI card for 4 HDMIs. I've got a Camlink Pro and a Camlink 4K. So the 4K came out first. This is a USB version of what this is, but this is 4 and this is 1. So I have 5 HD cameras. When I like play and stand here, I've got to try and get the table, but also my upper body so you can actually see who I am and what I'm saying. So I used to have the table quite low, which meant the camera was really far back, which meant it was like super grainy. Now it's a lot closer because it's higher up and it's like, I've essentially got to take the table and me and like squash it into frame. So I've got 1, 2 up there. I've upgraded this one to a Sony ZV-1. I've also got a Sony a6000 there with a huge macro lens on. It looks at dice. That's its entire job. You look at dice. I've also got 2 pairs of lights. I've got 2 newer LED panels. They've got the doors, the barn doors on them, so you can control where the light bounces. And then I also have 2 soft boxes by Neewer as well. These come with like little LED coloured discs. Essentially, you can put discs inside them. There's another one up there, a cheaper one. One I've had ever since I first started filming battle reports. That one has bulbs in it, but I broke all the other bulbs. And then my secret sauce here, baby. This is a PTZ conference camera, which is by Tanovo. It is a 20x zoom 1080p optical camera. So what this one does is, even though it's a set camera, I can actually move it with a TV remote, as you can see. So if I can like preset positions. So if I press happening on position 1, it now goes to objective 1. And then it's happening on objective 5. There's objective 5. And it's happening on objective 4. It's objective 3 right in the center. Objective 2. Objective 1. Objective 7 to get the full scene. Right? My secret weapon of getting every angle,